Hi, Amanda.
Hi, and we're back. Part 2.
We're back. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, as you said. So we're gonna give you a peek behind the curtain. For y'all, it's been a whole week. For us, it's been like 5 minutes.
It's been a pee break. That's it.
Yeah, it's been a pee break. So we have no catching up to do, but we will give you a small recap from last week. What you guys heard last week was a lot of yelling. A lot of yelling.
Raging. It basically should be captioned Nikki's Rage Fest.
Really, honestly, and I'm gonna do some more, and it's gonna be real cathartic, and I love it. But you heard about the intro to how this topic came about, the grifty shit that goes on in the autism world, how people do dumb shit, sell you dumb courses, and tell you they're going to cure your kid's autism or change their behavior or open their detox pathways or whatever other grifty bullshit they try to sell you to cure your kid's autism or improve your kid's autism or whatever the fuck else they're going to try to tell you they can do with their grifty ass shit. And we just sort of talked about that. And then I yelled a lot into the microphone about how dangerous that shit can be and about how these people have no credentials and have no business doing this shit. And about how autism is not a disease and does not need to be cured. And that you're basically saying, when you're saying we need a cure for autism, that you're wanting to cure or eradicate, essentially,
basically
an entire child, demographic of people.
Also, like, what makes your child who they are.
Correct. You can't cure the way someone was fucking born. So
same with like being gay, all that stuff. It's like you can't just wish it all away.
Correct. You can't cure autism any more than you can cure or physically change, like biologically change the color of your eyeballs. You can buy a mask for your eyeballs in the form of a contact and make your eyeballs a different color that way, but you can't change genetically what color your goddamn eyeballs are. Once you're born, they're that color. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
it crumbles.
That's why the cookie crumbles. Anyway, so we have more screaming to do at you today about more grifty things. And I'm going to tell you a little personal story about how I myself was wrapped up in this grifty ass world for a while. On the grifting and on the end of both being grifted and being a grifter.
Being a grifter
unknowingly.
And a grifty. Yep.
A grifter and a grifty. Unknowingly being a grifty.
But
a
first,
grifter, I mean. But first what?
Intro.
That was our intro.
Oh, I thought did I completely space out and you already said the intro of you no,
the whole, like, the normal one we normally do. Yeah. Hi, we're a podcast. And then we're the NDC podcast, to be exact. Sorry, this is difficult. We're still trying to figure out how to do these 2-part episodes where we record it all in one day. Forgive. Anyway, we're the NDC podcast. You can put together whatever you want for those 3 little letters, the N, the D, and the C. It's supposed to be the Neurodivergent Convergence podcast. You could call us whatever the fuck you want. Nerdy, distractible creatures. Nothing. I don't know. No deaf cunts. That's my favorite one. No deaf cunts. What was another one I came up with?
Nasty, dirty.
Crusties. I don't know. Whatever the fuck. Why is it always gross? It's always gross.
I don't know.
It's never anything good.
It's always like
it's never anything good.
It's always insulting.
It is. It always is. Call us whatever the fuck you want. It's basically what I'm trying to say, because it's so much easier to type out the NDC podcast than the Neurodivergent Convergence. So it's very long. I don't know why I thought about. Listen, it sounded nice. It was alliterative, but it's very long to type.
That's not alliterative, but that's okay.
Ma'am, don't tism on that. Okay, you just tismed all over that. Whatever it is, it sounds cool together, is what I was trying to say. So maybe I used the wrong fucking word.
Hey,
just
one of us
all
can spell segue correctly, and one of us can't. Okay, that's
both of them are you. So in your brain. You just told me.
Uh,
Shut up. Leave me alone. Anyway, we've already established that I'm the dumb one. Okay, we've already established this.
I can't talk.
And
See, you're a good talker. See, like I'm not saying like I'm the smart one, you're the dumb one. It's just more like you're also like a good talker. Like anytime it's my turn, like my turn to talk, I'm just like I know speak well,
yeah.
good. I know English. I don't know.
But she's very smart. The brain very good in her. Brain not great in me, but voice box wonderful. Yeah, anyway, this is why we work well together.
The cable going between my brain and my mouth, no, it's frayed. It's held together by electrical tape. There's no fixing it at this point.
Yeah, it's fine. But that's why, see, like, I'm the mouthpiece and she's the brains. That's why this works. We figured this out. We've established this. So anyway, we're a podcast and we're two neurodivergent ladies. And I came up with a really long fucking name and then we squished it to 3 letters because we can. Hi, we're here. We do shit on a show every fucking Thursday. But guess what? We don't always do that either because we're fucking neurodivergent, like I just said. And I forget. Or we don't record on time because brains don't always be fucking braining. And neither do bodies because I'm also chronically ill. We show up every fucking Thursday and we talk about neurodivergent shit or our experience with neurodivergent shit and, and stumble through our fucking words. And we also just give our take on life as neurodivergent women. And we are just 2 best friends navigating the neuroverse together because we are living in a neurotypical world and we are not neurotypical girls. Amanda, we already fucking told them what we're talking about because I forgot to do the intro before we told them what we were talking about. So let's just fucking do it because I have a lot of screaming to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we're approaching the 8 o'clock hour, which is probably why I can't say nothing no more. My fucking, my brain's shitting out. So we got to do shit quickly before my brain completely leaks out of my ear holes.
We got time.
We're on the clock. Let's talk about shit. Okay. I am a person, right? Mm-hmm. We've discussed this last week that I'm great with putting up the don't fucking bother my people block. And you're a shady bitch. Don't come at my people block for everyone else around me but myself. I fall right into people's traps, okay? I'm real gullible. I'm easily persuaded. I tend to trust things way quicker than I fucking should. This includes both people, organizations, all sorts of shit. Tend to believe shit up front at face value before I double, triple, quadruple check if those things are true, okay? It's not a great quality. I'm working on it. I know this about me and I'm trying, okay? So, when there was this person who I will not name, because I genuinely think they're a good person, they fell for it too, right? They drank the Kool-Aid. Did the whole cold call thing. Or maybe I reached out to them. I don't fucking remember. On God, I don't fucking remember how I got connected with it, but I know they went to the church that I was going to at the time. They were on my Facebook. I don't know if I reached out to them or they reached out to me, but they were selling. Excuse me, that was a big burp. Apologize. It's a bodily function. We all do it. Whatever. They were selling Young Living essential oils. Yes, I will name drop the company. No, I don't fucking care. What are you going to do? Sue me? You ain't going to get shit. I'm poor. Okay? Here we are. Try me.
I just paid off my credit card bill. I have no money.
I just paid off a very small balance of a credit card. In most people's eyes, would be considered a small balance. Under $2,000 would be considered a small balance to most people. To me, it was, you just fucked up. Big time. You ain't going to get shit out of me. I digress. I have a lot more screaming to do that has way more to do with the fucking topic of the show. Young Living essential oils. I started selling them. We were broke as a fucking joke. I had no fucking business buying these things. And I mean, we were broker then than we were now. So how I had the money to start this, I'll never know. I probably put it on a fucking credit card and shouldn't have done that either. But like, either way, I started buying them, right? So you have to do the MLM thing where you have to spend so much money every month to keep your status as like a seller, right? And then you also have like this fee that comes out every month. that you have to pay for your, like, your website and your back office and shit like that. So you can have a page for people to come to buy your shit, right? So there's this fee. I think it was like $16 a month or some shit like that. I don't know. Plus I had to buy all this product every month. The money part doesn't fucking matter really. The fact is I turned into a grifter. Okay? Unknowingly. Because guess what? Why I got into this shit was because at this juncture, we had just learned about Nicholas being autistic. And I had heard someone in this person's, like, realm, right? They shared this video of this lady whose kid was like vaccine injured, right? And that gave him autism. And they started these oils and all these detoxes and shit with them, and now they're better, right? And now they don't vaccinate any of their other kids and all this shit, right? Same grifty shit we talked about last week, except for Young Living shit, right? This brand. And this lady's like a big Young Living person. She's a big wig in the company, but doesn't really talk about it because you can't really say that, because Young Living is really good about making sure that you're not making claims about their products that could get them in big fucking trouble, right? But people can say things in a backhanded way that are still okay and still make you understand what they're trying to tell you without outright saying, this particular oil right here will help you with this, right? Insert medical problem here, right? They say it can help with this thing or this other thing or things related to it, but don't come outright and say what they're trying to say, but they still say what they want to say. If that makes any sense. Are you tracking?
Yes.
Am I making any sense? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So because I see this video and I have a newly diagnosed autistic child, I don't know what any of this means yet. I'm not diagnosed myself. This was back in, well, if he was 4, it would have been 2016. Because, yeah, he'd have been probably 4-ish, 2016, 2017. So we're talking, what, 8 years ago, right? If I can math correctly, ish, around 8 years ago. Learned a lot since then. So I'm freaking out, right? Because I have these people telling me that this very similar situation, because I also had a youngest who had the whole causation correlation thing we talked about with, he was around about the age that autism is diagnosed in kids, right? Which is that 18 months to 2 years is when you start noticing that the most. He had a vaccine reaction, which totally happens to kids, and then had a really bad, like, got really sick. And then we noticed that around the same time, we started noticing these autism. Now, when I look back, I can see we started noticing more aspects of autism. He was doing the head banging. He was doing, really didn't have much speech at all. He was kind of grunting for things, having little meltdowns. Like, he was behind developmentally, behind motor planning wise. Like, he really was behind. There were way more physical signs for him than there were with Nicholas. But correlation does not equal causation. But at the time, when I have one kid diagnosed with autism, being told that this runs in families, right? And if you have one kid diagnosed with it, you can have another kid diagnosed with it. Then I see this video of this lady whose kid has a vaccine injury, gets autism, starts having all these similar things happen to them that happened to my youngest child now. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, my kid got vaccine injured, and now that gave him the tism. Did that give Nick the tism? Like, I started freaking out because I don't know any better, right? But there's all these people around me in my circle telling me that they've had all these similar experiences. And because I'm a very trusting and believing person, I'm thinking, why would these people get on the internet and lie about this shit? Especially when it's about their kids, because, like, who the fuck would lie about their kids, right? Who the fuck would say this shit on the internet and risk getting ridiculed and talked about and fired from their fucking jobs and shit for making these radical fucking claims like this if it wasn't true, right? That's my thought process. So I believed them. Okay? As a mom, terrified because I see one kid doing all these things. I'm already scared because he had this reaction to a vaccine. Nicholas never had reactions to vaccines. We had every vaccine that was ever meant to be given to him, and he was fine. Never had any problems. Never even got so much as a fever or an achy body or anything after his shots. He had zero fucking problems. Never in his whole life. And then I have this other kid who now at 18 months is losing, so many issues. And I didn't know what to fucking do. And then their pediatrician at the time was not helpful, because I did immediately call the pediatrician when I saw what was going on, took him in. The pediatrician looked at me and basically said, "Oh, that's normal," and sent us on our fucking way. I didn't know that I could get a second opinion, call me stupid, but like, I didn't know what to do. I was a young mom, didn't have a lot of family around me, didn't have a lot of help. That's how people get roped into this shit. Over explaining this to let you know that like, it's not that hard to get roped in to this kind of shit when you are a terrified, isolated parent and you see someone, especially now knowing that I'm myself autistic and knowing that like I tend to be quite gullible, knowing these things about myself, I can totally see how I got roped into it. And I can totally see. Go ahead.
I said it's kind of like, not to me, like MLMs are like cult light. It's so like, people always say it's like, well, how can people get into cults? I'm kind of that mindset. Like, how do you get from like, you're a happy-go-lucky person, or you're just basically just a normal person, and then you go to like, say like Jonestown, like, where the whole "don't drink the Kool-Aid" thing comes from. It's like,
right.
And to me, it's like, that's like with MLMs. It's like, we could ridicule, like, I was like, I don't understand how all these people can get roped into this. It's like, it's not really that hard. You just prey on someone's, mainly it's preying on someone's insecurities, wanting to give community, wanting to give them something like, basically not life's meaning, but basically like some sort of understanding that they might be missing, some sort of like, you're like a person, especially like good salespeople, like good MLM people, like the ones that actually make money, which is like 1%.
Yeah.
And so they're the one, and they talk a good game. So it's not really that hard.
And you said a very important word: community.
Mm-hmm.
I was an isolated mom. Okay, the pupper's interruption. Did you see the pupper's eyes back there?
Mm-hmm.
Come here, sister. Come here, poopers. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here to mommy. Oh, just hi there, baby. Her got a haircut, and she went to the vet yesterday and got her allergy shots and got her ear drops, because we can't have a normal dog. We can't have a normal human pet, nothing in this house. They gotta all have problems. So she's our allergy dog. But
that's Scott's dog.
She's a good girl.
Scott's dog has like terrible allergies.
Oh, poor baby. I know how they feel. That's awful. But anyway, so isolated, the community thing, right? They seek out these stay-at-home moms because it can be isolating, right? It is. It's isolating. And I was new to the area. We moved away. We didn't really have a lot of friends in that area yet. And that person knew that, right? Not saying that person was preying on me, but like, that's the kind of things that they teach you to look for when you're trying to recruit, and you don't realize you're being taught how to prey on people. You're being taught how to be predatory, right? But they don't say it in that way. So you think you're seeking out those people because you want to help them. You're seeking out those people because they're vulnerable and easily persuaded, because they're lonely, and you're selling them the community aspect of this, which is you get this team of people to help you. Your direct upline becomes like your friend, and you get to hang out with them and have team meetings and Zooms and go to their house for hangouts and shit. And it's like, granted you live near them, which I did live near-ish this person. So like, they're selling you, they find your pain point and they meet it, right? They tell you that they can meet it, and that's how they get you in. Same thing with cults. They find your pain point or your issue, and they offer you a solution. And then once you're in, it's hard to get out. Once you start forming relationships, it's hard to get out, because you don't want to leave the relationships you found, right? Because the community is great. The people, the aspects of what you're learning and teaching and the things that are going on are, but the people are great, right? So, that was kind of where I was. That's how I got sucked in. Then I started believing this shit about how these oils and these things and detoxing and how to make these detox baths and shit like that, that this stuff would help my kids. Now, I will say, I believe in essential oils having some health benefits alongside, let me just make that a giant fucking disclaimer here, alongside of traditional Western medicine. Okay? Like, don't write off the medical system. It's flawed, it needs help, but guess what? An essential oil ain't gonna fix your broken fucking arm or your diabetes. Okay? Like, we need it. It's there for a reason. Or your heart attack, or prevent one or anything. But, like, yes, I do think they can be beneficial in some ways. Do I use them anymore in my home? No. But I did use them for a long time, even after I quit the MLM, because I did feel they were helping in other things. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what those things are, because I don't want you to feel like I'm endorsing that, and maybe that doesn't work for you, or maybe you're allergic to some of them, because that's a real thing. Okay? But some of the things they were telling you to do, like, even as crazy as these people are, like, there were some good things about it. Like, they would say, like, never drop essential oils in your ears or your eyes, right? They don't belong there. So, like, if you needed to use, like, their ear infection help, right, to help get things out, they would tell you to put it on a cotton ball and, like, then put the cotton ball in the ear. I will tell you right now, I don't remember which oils I mixed, but it did help. I'm not gonna lie. The shit helped. Okay? Is it as good as a fucking antibiotic? And did I use it alone without an antibiotic when my child had a fucking ear infection? Abso-goddamn-lutely not. Even when I was deep in it, my child still had fucking antibiotics because he needed them. Okay? He needed them. We ain't fucking around with that shit. But I feel like it did help because it helped him get through the night. And I would even dabbing a little bit behind his ear, a little bit of lavender behind his ear, helped him sleep. Aromatherapy, right? But we would always dilute it. There's so many rules that you have to learn. You can't just go fucking with this stuff. That is my main point about the entire thing that we'll talk about later. Anyway, I turned into a grifter, started selling it. Then I started seeing how some of these people were behaving when I decided that I wasn't going to push to make this a business, that I just wanted to buy the products and stay, like, keep in the thing for the discount so that I could have enough for myself and maybe order for a few friends that wanted some things. When I didn't push to sell, I saw how people changed, right? And then I was like, why is this bitch who claims to be my friend all of a sudden not so happy with me?
Because you're hurting your bottom line.
Right. And then then I started to understand. And some other shit started to get red flaggy with me. Like, they started to say, like, they teach you in, like, these trainings and shit you can watch that their oils, Young Living specifically, their oils are the only clean and pure oil on the market. Every other oil is contaminated. The only one that is safe, proven safe, because they have it tested. That is such.
I'm sure. Yeah, because I was like, I'm sure the FDA
one Google
really,
search.
Yeah.
Takes one Google search to figure out that that's bullshit. The same labs that they use to have their products tested for the ingredients that they say are in it are the same labs that several other essential oil companies that are not MLMs use.
It's think of it like even just any brands. Like, think of, like, cereal. Like, generic cereal versus name brand cereal, it's all made at the same factory. Where what package it goes into, it just determines on where it's sold and how much it sells for.
Right.
So, like, even like I never got much into essential oils. Like, it's just not really a thing I got into. Like, I do like the aromatherapy. I have like a diffuser and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I'd buy mine at just like Walmart. And so I'm like, that's probably the same exact shit as Young Living.
Yeah. I mean, it might be
like
from
when I made
cheaper quality plant or something, but it's the same shit essentially. Like,
yeah,
they're just, you're paying for a name brand, right? You're paying for their business model. You're paying for a name brand like anything else. There are several companies that are perfectly safe and perfectly healthy to use that aren't 40 some odd dollars a bottle, right? Like, it's not necessary to do all of that. Several different brands, totally safe to use, but these people had me legitimately scared and thinking that every other essential oil sold was going to hurt me if I used it. It's going to poison me or cause some sort of reaction because it wasn't safe and it wasn't pure. Theirs were the pure and safe ones. They love that word pure in that company. They love that pure. So that was something else that's got red flaggy for me. Then I just started looking into like things and started questioning it. And then eventually I got out, right? Eventually I got out. This was so long ago. I don't exactly remember everything that happened that led me out, but I know I just got out and I was done. But not after spending thousands of dollars on this stuff. Thousands of dollars I did not have. Thousands of dollars were probably racked up on a credit card.
Yeah, because I know we don't live close now. We didn't live close then, but it's like, I don't remember you ever trying to sell it to me. And I don't know if it's because we didn't live close or because you're like, Amanda's not going to buy this shit.
Well, both. Like, I was not interested. I also just wasn't interested in doing that. Like, I don't like cold calls. I don't like sales
like
in that
messages,
way.
like DMs, like, "Hey, girly, hope it's been good."
Yeah,
it's always like
it's disingenuine, and I don't operate like that. Like, I don't do things like that. It's not who I am as a person. And so I just didn't like that. And so I was never going to be successful at that because I'm not grifty. Like, I turned into a grifter technically, but I really wasn't trying to grift. I wasn't trying to grift folks. There were a few people when my child was going to ABA therapy for a while. Again, before I knew any better, he did go to ABA therapy for a while that I tried to talk to about it at ABA therapy because I was so, like, I believed this story so much about this lady's kid and the autism thing and all these different things she was using and all these supplements she was giving her kid. And then I remember after the essential oil thing was over, there was this specific probiotic supplement thing that we bought that the kids used, and I swore it helped them, and like we swore by it, and we didn't sell it to people. Like, it wasn't anything like that. I just ordered it and we gave it to them. Like, it wasn't grifty and it wasn't MLM, but like I still was like hanging on to a little bit of that. We tried keto because we went on keto specifically because I was told that is the best thing for your brain, that carbs are going to kill you and rot your brain out, and that your body is better, runs more efficiently on fat. That your body is created to run on fat, which is bullshit, by the way, because the squish ball between your fucking ears that runs your whole fucking body easily uses carbs the quickest. Like, your body breaks it down. It's literally what it prefers. So, like, it's just basic biology. Your brain needs them. Your brain needs the carbohydrates. It needs it. Does it need 16 donuts a day? Absolutely not. But, like, should you be removing entire food groups from your diet unless you are allergic to them? No. No. Unless you know you are sensitive or allergic to a specific food, do not remove it from your diet. Don't do that. We are omnivores for a reason. Stop making your life harder than it needs to be. Just enjoy your life as it is. Stop. Don't let these people scare you into thinking that carbs are going to kill you. Unless you are diabetic, you were told by a doctor, or you know you have some other condition in which you would be better off if you did not, celiac, you'd be better off if you did not diet, did not eat as many carbs or carbs at all. Don't do this to yourself. it's torture. It's not necessary. It's a fad diet at best. You might lose a few pounds for a short amount of time, but you can't sustain that way because your body's biologically not meant to do that.
I remember I had when I had a doctor, she's like a nutritionist too, but I was telling her, she's like, because we had to like, when I was, can't talk. It was like the first time I ever saw her, and you had to like go through like what diets you tried, all that stuff. And I told her I tried keto. She's like, how'd that work out for you? I'm like, well, I did lose weight, but I was miserable. Like I felt like I wanted to die. Like I felt awful. Like I had no energy. I felt irritable. And then she goes, I never recommend keto to anybody, because she's like, what kind of diet forbids you from eating fruit? And so and she's like, that's not a diet. That's
no.
So
but that's a story, that's a thing for another episode. But like, so I got out of that. I still was holding on to some of these beliefs. You know, we got into the keto thing, and then we were big on the gut health thing, and like eventually I just gave up. And I don't know, like, well, before I gave up, we were doing ABA therapy. I think the most egregious thing that I ever said or did around this topic, and I'm going to admit it now because it's part of moving on from this and part of healing from this, is when we were in ABA therapy, another thing that was pushed for me to do by my child's former pediatrician, not the one we currently see.
Can you briefly just say what ABA is? He keeps saying it, but what's like
applied behavioral analysis. It's a form of therapy that's pretty widely it was widely prescribed for autistic children, and still is prescribed to autistic children, but it's now become under fire for essentially trying to train the autistic behavior out of your kid.
Basically to mask.
So it's a behavioral therapy. And it sort of teaches them not to stim, and like when they start to get agitated, it shows them like how to control it. Like, I don't know.
You don't have to go too deep into it. You kept saying it. I'm like, I don't know what it stands for.
It's difficult to explain because in some ways I do feel like it was helpful, but then when I think about it, it's like, why was it helpful? Was it helpful because he was doing the behaviors that were disruptive less? So therefore he was making less of a scene in public. Like, was it helpful because he was just less disruptive? Or was it helpful because he was actually learning how to cope with what he was feeling? Right. And it's like, that's what I really had to struggle with. It's like, I think it was helpful because they were teaching him how to be small and how to repress and suppress his feelings and emotions instead of
conceal, don't feel.
Correct. It was very Elsa, conceal, don't feel, right? Which obviously doesn't fucking work, right? Like,
otherwise you just cause winter in the middle of summer. Correct. You build an ice castle.
Yeah, and you lock yourself away, right? At best. So this was when I was still, I think I might have still been slightly into the essential oils thing, or just kind of on the end of it. I know we were in this house by then, so it would have been 2018, around that time. And I remember sitting with his coordinator at the ABA facility and her telling me that essentially there was no more for him to do there because he had learned all the things, he had gone through all the things, and if they were to retest him right now, he basically wouldn't qualify for services because it would look like he's not autistic. And to me at the time, I was like, oh my God, that's wonderful, right? Like, as a parent who's like thinking she's doing this to help her kid, because this was told to me by a doctor to do for my kid, right? So I'm trying to do what's best for my kid because my doctor told me to do it. Like I think most parents would do, right? I'm thinking, oh, this is wonderful because he's doing so well that like, and not really, like now when I say that statement, it makes me want to cry, like makes me want to cringe. But like, we filmed a video because we were so excited. Jordan and I sat down, made a video that I have since deleted from my social media, but I'm sure you could use the Wayback Machine and find it because I was just grossed out by myself after realizing it. but I deleted it, but it said, like, we made a video announcing that, like, he had made so much progress that basically if he were to be tested for autism now, he would not be considered autistic. And I, like, announced that like it was like, my kid's not autistic. Yeah. Right. And I was like a few years ago when I was really starting to, like, learn, like, around 2020, I was starting to learn things about myself, started learning about these things. When I started really analyzing, like, what it meant to be an autistic person and, like, really learning about it and learning about him, and I went on Facebook and found it and deleted it because I was absolutely disgusted with myself that I was happy for that. Now, again, I also have grace for myself because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So this was me acting out of what I thought was the best for my child, not me trying to change who he was. But now I realize that even though it was what I thought was best for him, it was still wrong and it was still a mistake that I made. And I still have to acknowledge that and not repeat that mistake, right? So that I understand more. Like, I have to learn from that mistake and know that that was wrong and that I shouldn't have done it. So, I mean, it's something that I often think about now, knowing what I know, because I was essentially, without knowing, trying to make him less of who he was. And that is not something that myself now as a parent would ever do. And that's why I say thank God for growth, right? Thank God for learning and understanding. And there's always room to learn and understand and grow as a parent. That even me now, someone who has a podcast, who talks about this, who's now since learned that I myself am autistic and ADHD, and the things that I do now as a parent are so much different because of how bad and how wrong I got it before, right? My children were always loved. My children were always taken care of. Every decision I made because I thought that's what was best for them. I genuinely was not coming from a place of wanting to change who my child was as a person. I thought I was enhancing my child's life by doing this for him. I thought this was something that would be helpful for him for the rest of his life, and a therapy that I truly thought would be beneficial because that's what my child's doctor told me to do. So I was doing what a good parent would do, but it still ultimately ended up not being the best thing for him. So now we make different decisions. But I guess I say all of that to say, like, the biggest issue with all of these grifty things, whether it be essential oils or probiotics or detoxes or courses or whatever anyone is trying to sell you, or ABA therapy or whatever someone is trying to do, whether they mean well or they don't, because I genuinely meant well, as someone who genuinely meant well was still doing something wrong. Whether they mean well or they know damn well what they're doing and they're just being a dickhead. Essentially, what is happening, why this is wrong, is because you are telling someone, either knowingly or not, that their autistic child or them themselves being an autistic adult are not valid as they are. They are not allowed to exist as they are because something is wrong with them, intrinsically wrong with them, that needs to be cured or fixed or changed so that they can be a whole human, a whole person, or worthy of being on this earth. That is what you are saying without saying it, knowingly or unknowingly. You are changing that person's inherent worth and showing them and telling them that they are not okay as they are. And that is not acceptable anywhere else in the world. That's not acceptable with race. It's not acceptable with sexual orientation. It's not acceptable with gender identity. And it's certainly not going to be acceptable with autistic and neurodivergent people either. You can't do that. We can't change the way we were born any more than someone who is black can change the color of their skin. Who is a brown person can change the color of their skin. Who has blue eyes can change the color of their eyes genetically. Who is gay can change the fact that they love the person that has the same business between their legs as they do, right? Like, you can't change that. It's how they're born, right? You can't change it. There's no cure. You can't cure gay, you can't cure black, and you can't cure autism. It's not a thing. There's nothing to be cured. You are essentially saying that we are not allowed to exist as we are because there's something wrong with us, and that's not okay.
And like, it's the whole say like eye color. It's like, you can't really change your eye color. Yes, you can get colored contacts, but it's also like, you can't genetically change your eye color, but you can, like, if your eyes are, you know, broken like mine are and have been since I was 5, you can use glasses. It's the same with like autism. You can't cure the autism, but you can like manage like the symptoms, the whatever. You can, like, if your autistic kid has a meltdown, you can learn to like mitigate that. You can, but you can't like outright just take the autism away. Like, I can't like outright change it. Yeah, you can accommodate it. I can't change like my eye color from brown to green or brown to blue, whatever. But I since my eyes are fucked, I can use glasses to see better. But
right.
my eyes being bad is also like a genetic thing. Like, I can get laser surgery to fix it, but my genetics is saying like, oh, I have bad eyes. I can, help that. Same with like autism. Like, I can't like just outright cure the autism, but I can, help make accommodations for that.
Right. Also, yes, accommodations are wonderful, but also that is where acceptance needs to come in. That is where understanding needs to come in. And why it's important that we have platforms like ours, like people who have millions of followers that we don't currently have. Like, that is why those platforms are important, because they are saying and showing that, like, we are normal people, just like everybody else. We're humans that are asking to be accepted and loved for who we are, just like everybody else in this world desires to be accepted and loved for who they are, for the things that they cannot change about themselves. We are no different. And just because we have brains that are different than yours, physiologically so, does not mean that we are not allowed to exist in the world with everybody else, or that we should have some sort of cure or whatever. That's why people don't like Autism Speaks, because they're still trying to find a cure for this. It's not a goddamn disease. We are not diseased. This is not fucking cancer. This is it's just how we are. We're born like this. It's not even a defect. It just is what it is. So stop it. Stop doing this shit. It's not okay. You are doing more harm than you fucking realize. And if you do realize, fuck you. Like, if you do realize what you're doing, you're disgusting. But I do think the majority of people don't honestly understand what they're actually doing when they're saying these things and when they're selling these things.
And it's also like, and I kind of mentioned in our chat earlier, that it's also like, as adults, like either autism, ADHD, depression, anxiety, and there are people that mean well, like you said. There are people that aren't like being malicious about this, but like the whole, say, depression, like my depression is not cured. It is a lot better since I started taking my ADHD medication.
Right.
Because my brain wasn't constantly on the verge of panic or on the verge of like spiraling all the time, because it wasn't constantly being like bombarded with just everything, senses, whatever. So So, but like when people say shit like, well, have you just ever thought of like thinking happy thoughts? Like, or how about you just walk outside, like exercise? Like I get it, because like, yes, dopamine, all that stuff, endorphins, like stuff from exercise, but you have to understand, like, I go out hiking, like not a ton, but I do go out hiking probably more than the average person.
Right.
I go on walks, like I went on a walk today around, like, for on my lunch, because it was finally not 95 degrees outside. So I went
Yeah,
walking
you walk
outside of
almost
lunch.
every day at work.
Yeah, I walk
You're walking
on
at
my
least
lunch.
every day almost.
And guess fucking what? I'm still fucking depressed. Like
Right.
like Scott, Scott and I, we went to Spain twice. I walked 500 miles the first time in, 5 weeks. I still had panic attacks and meltdowns. Like,
I'm so
walking out in
sorry.
the
I don't
sun.
mean to laugh.
What?
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you on this. But I would walk 500
500.
miles an hour. I'm so
I-
sorry.
I played that song all the time when I was
I'm
walking.
so sorry. You said it, and I was like, no, the song. Not right now. She's telling a serious story. And then it just bubbled. I'm so sorry. It just bubbled out of me. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
It's okay. I accept it. I accept you for who you are.
Thank you.
So
That's a real.
so it's like I still had like depression episodes and everything, and I was walking outside 15 miles a day. Like, walking out in the sun didn't cure my depression, didn't cure my anxiety. I still had anxious thoughts. And so it's just, or like, and like, I get the whole like gut health thing. Like, yes, obviously, if the stomach is like the center of your being. So if you have a healthy stomach, that'll probably filter, like, probably go into other things, like merge into other aspects of your life. I get that. I'm not saying like probiotics are all shit or eating healthy diets all shit. Like, I'm not saying that. I would probably feel better if I ate better, but I don't. And so there it is. That's my own. That's my own cross. That's my own cross to bear. Okay, I am human. I don't like healthy food. Sorry. But so saying like shit, like, like the whole, for kids, it's like, for kids with autism, here's like these cure-alls, these essential oils, these certain therapies, these, opening your detox pathways as if you're unclogging a drain. And then, but then you're basically just making it to, like, granted my mom never did that shit, but obviously because we didn't know I was autistic, but like, it's going into like adulthood thinking like, oh, there's still something wrong with me, and you still have these other people like ADHD. Why don't you just buy a planner? Like, as if I didn't fucking think of that. Cue my picture, like cue my entire stack of abandoned planners. And so basically it's like these are nice, like, to mitigate problems, but it's not a cure. So this does lead into like,
they're accommodations.
Yeah.
But they're not cures.
No. And so it's like, it's basically like
your Erin Condren planner is not going to cure your fucking time blindness.
Right.
And your fucking,
inability
I was
to focus.
late for my appointment again.
Yeah. Like, inability to focus. So
Christ.
so it's just, and like the whole like MLM thing, like, the reason why I never really got into any of that stuff is,
I was going to ask you to explain that. I'm glad you're jumping in.
Like, there's really like two reasons. One, spending money, which I'm not like an outright cheapskate, but it's also like, to me, it's like I have to like put a reason for why I'm spending the money. But then two, I'm lazy, so I don't want to have to sell things to people. And it's also like, I'm just not a good salesperson. So I've been to like 2, maybe 3 like pitch meetings of a sort where I met, like, me and other people met with someone else that was selling stuff, and they're trying to get us to sell the stuff. And I denied them both times. Like, I know at least of 2. I'm sure there's a third that I'm like forgetting. But I know Avon was a friend at the time. I was probably late high school, early college. And so probably high school. Yeah, it was probably high school. because I wasn't really friends with this person after high school. But so probably high school, me and this other person met with this Avon selling lady, and trying to sell, trying to get into her whole pyramid and trying to be little underlings to sell. And my friend got into it. I don't know how successful. I think she still sells it, but I never got into it because it's like I'm lazy. And then there was another one like I bought from this person. Like I will buy from you, like if it's if it's something I think I'll use, like I'll buy your stuff. I'm not selling it for you. Like I'm not your little underling. Like I'm not gonna sell shit to feed your bottom line. And so, and I've told this story before, but it's also like when my brother has a timeshare. I don't know if he still does because it was in Florida and they now live in Florida. They had a timeshare which was in Orlando, and so we got to use his timeshare for the week, and it was like $300. So $300 for like a 2-bedroom, really nice apartment, basically. So a lot cheaper than a hotel, but it was my brother's timeshare. I'm not sure how much he paid for it, but he was like part of a timeshare company, I guess.
Right.
Is where they got it. Well, anyway, as part of like staying there, you're kind of required, or at least strongly encouraged, to attend like their little meeting thing where they like pitch the ideas of timeshares and you should buy into it and blah blah. Because I think you have to like put down whether or not you are the owner of the timeshare or you're the guest of the timeshare owner. And so at the end of it, you meet one-on-one with the person selling them. And so my mom, she's not gullible, she's not stupid any point in the imagination, but a good sales pitch, basically any like kitchen gadget, as seen on TV kitchen gadget, she's all for it. That sort of thing. She's all for it. Her kitchen cabinets are full, or were full. She cleaned a bunch of them out. Were full of as seen on TV kitchen gadgets because she. And so basically, this person was this, nice enough guy. Probably late 20s, early 30s, but nice enough guy. And this was like 10 years ago. Trying to pitch my mom the timeshare idea, and she was so close to getting into it. And I had to explain to her, I'm like, Mom, you are losing your main source of income because once you reach retirement age, she lost like that main source of income. You're losing your main source of income in like just a few years.
Yeah.
And she even like called my brother at one point, like before I, gave her that little tidbit of information, little reminder, Mom. She called my brother at one point, like saying like, oh, I maybe think I should do this. Like I told her, and I outright told, like, after she talked to brother, and I don't remember if like he was saying no, like, cause he's money conscious like I am. I don't know how my mom ended up with 2 money conscious children, but whatever. And so I don't know if he like outright said yes or no, or he was just kind of neutral about her decision. And I told her, I'm like, Mom, how often do we go on vacation? This is probably the first vacation we took in at least a few years. Like, so how often do we go on vacation? But anyway, so the guy was very close to convincing my mom, and I just interrupted him and I said, look, I am sorry that you have wasted your time. Like, I understand this is your job and you have like a quota or something, but it is not.
I'm so sorry. My dog is like straight up growling behind me, like looking at me like, can I get your attention? Can I help you? What do you want? The door is open, ma'am. Go out it. You are not locked in here. Go on. What do you need? Oh, it's bone time. I'm sorry. It's 8:30. Go ask your father. You have one of those. Go ask your dad. I swear to God, this dog knows time. 8:30 on the fucking dot. She's like, it's bone time. It's nighttime bone time. We're bone. And if you are not giving bone by 8:35, she's like, bitch, it's bone time. And I'm like, go ask your fucking dad. You have one of those. He's in the kitchen, closer to the bone. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go forward.
Okay, so, and I just kind of outright said, I'm like, okay, your pitch is really great, and you almost got my mom convinced, but it is not her you have to convince. It is me. So I am the one that has to be talked into it. And I'm saying no. This
Yeah.
is not happening. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you had to, like I said, I think I was strongly encouraged, like, you didn't have to go to these things, but if you did go to these things, you got like free medieval times tickets. So I think that's why we did it. So we got free medieval times ticket, and I waited an hour of this man's time. So, because like I said, he was very close to convincing my mom, but I think if I was not there, my mom would be in a timeshare and not being able to afford it at this current point in time.
Oh my gosh.
So, but so that's why, like, so the whole like MLM thing, like, and it's like what I talked last week, the whole not understanding, like, how do people get into MLMs, how do people like get into cults. It's like, so it's like I get it, like the whole finding someone that's isolated, finding someone that's lonely, finding someone that has insecurities, whatever, and like just convincing them like, oh, this is a great community, oh, you're gonna have friends, oh, you're gonna have, or even like, oh, you're gonna make all this money and blah blah whatever. And so for me, it's like, this is me saying, like, I personally don't get it. Like, I can be gullible, because like I've fallen for like I almost lost $500 because I bought a camera off of a scam website. It looked really legit. I ended up getting my money back because I fought like hell with PayPal for 3 weeks about it, but I almost got scammed out of that. But then, like, even you sent me that dress, and I googled where that thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I trust this website. And then every single review is like, this is a scam website, this is a Chinese website. And so that's, for me, that's why it's like MLMs just never really have worked with me. And I think people realize that. One, I made like that one like meme of like, of Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, like me with no friends, like wondering if people don't. It's like do people not try to sell me MLMs? It's because, one, like, I don't seem approachable enough to be selling MLMs, or they just know like she's not gonna accept my bullshit about this.
Yeah.
So
you are unbullshittable.
Yeah, and so like I said, I can get pretty gullible about certain things, but like I said, and I might buy stuff from MLMs. Like, I might purchase something, like if a friend is selling it and they're like, oh, can you, like, I might spend like $30-$40 on it. But otherwise, like, I'll support them, but it's like, you're not going to get me to sell it. You're not going to get me to spend my own money to earn this person money. Like, I'm not going to have a back room full of stock. Like, it just always reminds me of the George Lopez episode where I can't remember the wife's name, but like the wife, she sold, I don't know if it was candles or makeup or what, but she kept her stuff in the garage, and their garage burned down. And so like she lost all her like stuff. So every time I think about people selling MLMs, and I'm just like, but what if your stock burns down? What if
But George Lopez.
His garage burned down. He lost his golf clubs in that fire.
Oh no.
And so
sorry.
So I just think about that sort of stuff. So yeah, now that's all my thought about that.
That's all your thoughts on it?
Oh, that's all my thoughts about MLMs, and like the whole trying to sell cures and like aids for things that, yes, might help temporarily, or yes, might help some symptoms of whatever it is, but it's not a cure. Like, just go to the fucking doctor. Go if it's a mental thing, go see a fucking therapist, okay? Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I don't even play any of those on TV. So, but just like the whole like essential oils things, like, yes, I've used essential oils. I at one point made my own like laundry detergent. I use essential oils just for the scent part of it. But that's about it. Like, to me, I personally don't understand.
Yeah. So like real quick, I just want to like quickly circle back to like touching on the whole essential oil, herbs, things like that. Like, they do have their uses, they do have their place. But like, I'm not an herbalist. I'm not even an aromatherapist. I was just a person who got roped into the essential oil game and learned off of what that company told me about essential oils. and was told not to look anywhere else for anything. I've since looked other places and learned about it. But like, you should never be ingesting these things. You should never be putting them in your ears, your eyes. They should be only used on your skin. Even the safest ones to use on your skin should always be diluted. There are some oils that should never touch your skin because they can burn you. Like oregano oil, if you get that on your skin, it will burn you. Like straight up oregano oil will burn your hand. Like, you have to be careful. You need to be educated before you go and fuck with this stuff. Don't just start throwing things willy-nilly, and especially don't put it on your fucking children.
It's like, you're not an alchemist. Please calm down.
Do your research before you start fucking with this stuff. And also, please be prepared that these things are incredibly concentrated. They are essential oils. The bottles are little for a fucking reason. I'm talking like a drop will do ya on a lot of these things. In a carrier oil always. Put it in some other kind of oil. Olive, coconut, something, jojoba, whatever you want. Should always be diluted. Especially for kids, it should be heavily diluted. And you should still be patch testing and checking for reactions before you ever go using these in any kind of quantity or for any length of time on yourself or your children. Be careful. Same thing with herbs. If you're taking herbal supplements, there are so many herbal supplements that are wonderful. They work for so many things. However, there are so many herbal supplements that if you are on any other kind of medication, you cannot take. Like, you have to be careful. You have to consult your doctor before you start taking some of these herbal supplements and shit that they are telling you to take, because they can react with your medications. They are powerful medications on their own, quote unquote medications on their own. They have properties that do things in your body. They have chemicals that make other chemicals and chemical reactions go on in your body. And they chemically react with your chemical medication that you're taking. You have to be fucking careful. You cannot just go putting a bunch of shit in your body and not knowing how it's going to react with you. You could hurt yourself or your child. Do not go doing that shit. There's a lot of medication, like the whole depression thing, like you brought up. Like, a lot of people say take St. John's wort for depression. Not if you're on meds. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Like, that's not okay. Those two things don't mix. You can't do that. Don't do that. Okay? And don't ever do that until you talk to your doctor anyway. Don't ever start taking shit without talking to your doctor. You do not know what these herbs are going to do. A lot of your times, your doctor's going to tell you it's probably not going to do anything for you. But if you feel like you have to take it, as long as it's not interacting with any of your medications or any of your other medical issues, they're going to say it's probably fine to take. But that's for them to decide, not you. Stop putting things in your body when you have no education about those things. And someone on the internet, an influencer on the internet who's selling you those things, not the way to get your information. Just letting you know. There are plenty of things, again, I will say it one more time, just in case we didn't hear me. They can be very helpful, but they can also be very hurtful. Two things can be true at the same time, and every body is different. Please consult with your physician, not the influencer on the internet, or the grifter on the internet, or the MLM person on the internet selling you these things, because they're going to tell you you're perfectly fine to use it.
It's also like the people that, like that lady that makes the courses. Like, anyone can make a course. Like, you can have no education whatsoever, like this person, but like have like an elementary school education and sell a course, or, you know, have a course. But it's also like you said, this person's not a doctor. This person tells you not a doctor, so they're getting that out of it. But it's also like a lot of stuff that they're saying, and like she said, I wish I would have had this course when I was learning this stuff. Like, I need someone to hold my hand. Okay, bitch. The internet is free. so a lot of these things that you're selling, you can find for free. Like, say, like the whole, like the courses to sell courses, like Bethany Bear, whatever her name is.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
girl,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fine girl. Like the whole these
Buy
whole
my course
courses
on how to sell a course. Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying like, and these courses, I'm not saying are like college courses. Like, yeah, college,
Right.
you can get a college education for free with the library, whatever. So I'm not saying like, oh, everyone should go to college, whatever. But it's like these courses, they are teaching you shit, like these online courses for this kind of shit. They're teaching you shit that you can just learn for free.
Correct.
Like, YouTube is free. Google
Right.
is free. I'm not saying like
Right.
Google everything, obviously, then you become these people. But like
Right.
this kind of shit that they're teaching, that they're basically just taking little bits here and there from different articles they read, and they're just making it like their own course and selling it to you for hundreds of dollars when
Right.
they got this information for free, and you could too.
Exactly. Just stop. Please don't give these people your time or your money, okay? And I say this with love because as someone who is entirely gullible, I'm going to be your mom friend override. I'm going to be your Amanda to your Carolyn, right? The mom friend override. Please don't purchase these things. Please do not even go and purchase a non-MLM essential oil without doing your research first. Okay? Please do not go purchase an herb and start randomly taking it, especially if you take any medication at all, without talking to your doctor first. I'm not talking about just mental health medication. I'm talking about literally anything.
Just because it's natural doesn't mean like it won't react to anything.
Correct. You can be allergic to the herbs too. You can have a reaction to the herbs too. There is a such thing as medicinal herbs. They are a real thing. They have been used for centuries. They will do things in your body. They can help you. They do not have the same efficacy or even the same consistency as the drugs that are made in, the shit you get at the pharmacy, which is why those things were made to begin with. I mean, a lot of them cannot cure or fix or whatever some of the diseases and things that the shit at the pharmacy does fix. And thank God for the pharmacy and the people who created those things, because our life expectancy is a lot longer now than it used to be. But it doesn't negate the fact that those things are still helpful and can be helpful, even in conjunction with medications. But you don't know that until you cross-reference those things with your physician. Please, I'm begging you, don't hurt yourself. Do not let these people catch you up in their bullshit. They're charismatic and their points sound great, and I know they're going to hit you with all the stories that hit you right in the feels, or they make you relate, feel like you can see yourself in their story, and if they did it, you could do it too, and they had all these results and you're struggling with the same things, maybe this thing will help me. I know, because I was there. I did it. Please don't get roped up in this shit. I'm begging you. It is not going to help you. It's going to keep you broke and possibly could get you even more sick, could get your child more sick, could cause so much harm to yourself or your children. Please don't buy into this shit. Do not give these people power, because the more we give these people power and attention, the more they're going to keep doing this shit. And then they're going to see other people are going to see them doing this shit, and then they're going to do this shit. And then there's going to be more of these motherfuckers to track down and try to get rid of. So please pay attention. Please consult your physician with any changes you fucking make to anything you're ingesting or medications or oils or whatever. Please talk to your fucking doctor or even your pharmacist. Your pharmacist can tell you if an herb is going to react to the medication. They can tell you that. They absolutely can tell you that. They will say, no, don't do that. That herb will make this one not work or can cause a crazy reaction. Speak to both of them. Okay? Stop paying people on the internet that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. We love you so much. We do not want you to hurt yourself. And so that is why we talk about these people who are grifty. And I am a gullible human. And I'm trying to save you, other gullible humans, potentially, from being roped into this shit, because it's a lot easier than it looks. Okay? I'm going to stop repeating myself now. because my fucking back hurts and I gotta go pee again. And it's time for me to get in the bed because it's almost 9 o'clock and I don't even want to go to sleep, but my body hurts and I need to lay down. I did a lot of yelling.
Mm-hmm.
And now my back hurts. So
a lot of gesturing.
Yeah, a lot of gestures and a lot of moving around, and my body's already pissed off. So now it's real pissed off, but it's for a good cause. Damn it.
It's for the people.
If it saves one gullible human from hurting themselves or their children when they were just feeling like they needed to be trying to help, then I've done my job. Moving on. We have a Mad Lib to do, don't we?
Yeah.
It's time for the fun and fuckery portion. Should I sing my song?
Sure.
I'm trying to do it in the Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated fucking theme song. It's time for the fun and fuckery portion.
Hey, it works.
It does. Okay, so I need words from you this time.
Yeah.
Love that abrupt ending where we're just like, yeah, let's do a Mad Lib.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. You guys know where our socials are. You know where everything is. It's in the show notes.
The NDC podcast. That's it.
So, yeah, everything, everywhere socials are platformed, we're just the NDC podcast. But everything's also in the show notes if you want to find us. It's not that hard. Okay, so we're going to do a Mad Lib now. I'm going to move my mic out of the way a little bit because that's just what I have to do or I can't see because of the glare. I need... Ooh, we're starting it out with a verb ending in ing.
Uh-huh.
Do we already know what it is?
Yep, fucking.
Okay, fucking. Okay, how about a noun?
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, it is. That is what the internet has become.
Yeah.
A dumpster fire. Okay, sure. Part of the body, ma'am.
You missed one.
Did I? Oh, shit, I sure did. My hand was covering it. Sorry, adjective.
Noxious.
Noxious. Does that have a K in front of it?
No. It's Noxious.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be missing a letter. Okay, now part of the body.
Fruit of your loins.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it is. Fruit.
I was like, I even Googled, I'm like, is fruit of your loins a body part? Or is it just like what you call your child? It's like, no, it's actually like below the waist is fruit of your loins. I'm like, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a body part too.
Sure. Verb.
Gobble.
Oh my. Are we gobbling fruit of the loins?
Yes.
Amanda, how dare you? So rude. Vulgar woman. Beastly bulging man.
Is that what a blowjob is, you know? Like gobbling the fruit of your loins.
That's one hell of a blowjob. I don't want to give one like that.
Well,
I don't think I've ever given one that way.
Sperm is the fruit of someone's loins. Gobbling it up. Blowjob. You're welcome.
No, ma'am, not me. That ain't for me. You're gonna have to have somebody else do that shit for you. I don't. I've always told my poor husband that. Listen, that ain't my job. Gobble it yourself. I ain't doing all that.
Do some ab workouts and do it yourself.
Get them ribs removed if you want some gobbling done, because I don't do that shit. That's TMI for everyone, but I don't be doing that. Verb.
Bungle.
Bungle? That's a verb?
Yeah, like I bungled it up. Like I messed it up. I think that's what it means.
Oh my god. I love that. I didn't know that, but I like it. Plural noun.
Platypuses.
Platypuses.
I looked up, like, I even Googled platypi or platypuses. It says scientists generally, there's not an accepted term, but scientists generally accept platypuses.
Okay. Adjective.
Animalistic.
Damn. What are you whining at me now for? I'm going to remind you, you have a whole other parent in the other room. Hi, I know you're ready to go to bed, but I'm busy, ma'am. Verb.
For anyone that's not watching, she's talking to a dog, not a child. So
yeah, I'm talking to my dog.
It's like, man, she's mean to a child.
The puppers is interrupting. Sorry.
Verb, Probe.
My. Noun.
McDonald's play place.
Those are like hardly existing anymore.
I mean,
So
COVID.
sad. What, baby girl? What do you need, honey? I'm busy.
Almost done.
A verb ending in ing.
Spelunking.
I like that word too.
It's fun.
How spell? How spell?
SPELUNKING. Spelunking.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I knew the lunking part, but I didn't know what went before it. SP something, obviously, but I didn't know what letter. Verb.
Rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate. Oh, hit my mic. Sorry about that. Another verb ending in ing. Damn.
Yeah, there's 4. Moaning.
Oh my.
Moaning myrtle.
Moaning myrtle. Okay. Plural noun.
Atomic bombs.
Oh my.
That's when we said explode last time. I was like, did I put explode? Close.
U is for uranium.
Yeah.
Bombs. It is for no survivors. Sorry.
Plankton. Swamp witch.
Oh. What I aspire to be one day.
I almost put bog beast. I'm like, no, swamp witch.
Bog beast. Both. I will be a swamp witch with my bog beast.
Yep.
I love it. Number.
To go with it, 13.
Hell yeah. We will have, I'm so sorry. I have to say this. I have to make sure this is true, but I saw a post that says not only is October going to have a Friday the 13th, but there's also going to be a full moon, a full blood moon or some shit like that on Halloween. Like there's a bunch of shit happening on Halloween this year. It's supposed to be a crazy Halloween. So October's going to be fucking rad. I'm so excited. My little witchy self is so excited for October this year. I'm so pumped. I'm so ready for spooky season. I'm so over summer. I'm like, this was fun. Give me my goddamn sweatshirts back. I know. I'm done. I want my sweatshirts back.
4th of July happened. It's spooky season now.
I'm old and fat. Joann's already has her spooky shit out. And it's all 40% off. And I had a fucking heart attack when I walked in there to get wire for my jewelry wrap and shit. Or my stone wrap and shit. And I was like, don't look, bitch. Don't look. You can't afford it.
Avert your eyes.
Yeah, I was literally walking past the aisles like this. They probably thought I had a fucking stroke or something, but I was like, bitch, don't look. Just don't even fucking look at it. Okay, verb ending in ing.
Evacuating.
Waiting. Evacuation complete.
Yes.
From fucking Austin Powers when he was peeing. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
God. Noun.
Mystery machine.
Ooh. Mystery. Got very spooky. I love it. Mystery machine. Noun.
Not spooky. Taco Bell Chihuahua.
It got very spooky. I love it. Yeah, the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
I said that. Then I said not very spooky. Taco Bell.
Quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. See, we know Spanish. Check it, Scott.
He's like, you both suck at this. Stop. Okay, plural noun.
To go back to spooky, war crimes.
Oh God. War crimes. Jesus Christ.
It's actually like the third. It's actually like the third word I thought of. It's like I said, I do not go in order on these things.
All right, y'all ready for a better Mad Lib than last week? Because they always are better when they're hers. Okay, here we go. This is how to deal with an empty nest. Yes, still in our adult Mad Lib. Okay. Ooh, how to deal with an empty nest. A guide. So your kids are all fucking on their own now. And they're fucking on their own. And now it's just you and your partner all alone in an empty dumpster fire. Check out this guide for noxious nesters on how to live with your sweet fruit of the loins. Yeah, no, I didn't say that right. Check out this guide for noxious nesters on how to live with your sweet fruit of your loins, even if you're gobbling each other to death. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of information in the first couple sentences there. Sure. First and foremost, make sure you each bungle out a part of the house to call your own. Ideally, these territories should be on different platypuses. This way, it's possible to go an animalistic stretch of the day without having to actually probe each other. Oh boy. Okay. You can always stay in touch by Speaker McDonald's Play Place or an instant spelunking. And then regroup at dinner to rejuvenate up on all the things you didn't get to do together that day. Tired of his constant moaning at night?
Ugh.
Oh, okay. Now you have more bed atomic bombs to use, so you can fall asleep anywhere. If you find that you don't have anything in common with the swamp witch you married, find your 13 offspring. Oh, God damn it, Amanda. Oh, shit. Okay. Let me try again. If you find that you don't have anything in common with the swamp witch you married beside your 13 offspring, try a new hobby together. Something as simple as taking an evacuating or mystery machine watching class can really ignite the Taco Bell Chihuahua. If not, just pretend it does for the sake of your war crimes. The end.
I mean, Taco Bell would certainly ignite you somewhere.
Shit. Oh my God. You find you don't have anything in common with the swamp witch you married beside the 13 offspring. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, I wasn't ready for how well that fit in a sentence. Shit, you haven't got me real good like that in a long time. I mean, yours are always funny, but you have not cracked me like that in a good long time. Whew, shit. Okay. Well, it's 9:05 to be exact, PM. And it's well past my brain's functioning hour. So I'm going to say we're done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Julie, do the thing!
I'm afraid there are no more things to do.
Yep. We've done all the things.
Yep, we've done all the things.
Yeah. Good old Cora.
So, good old Cora. So, goodbye. We're done. We love you. All the things are in the show notes, per usual. I don't know. We don't know what next week's going to be yet, because we haven't started recording that, because we're recording this.
Yeah.
So.
We're living in the now.
We're living in the now. Technically a week from now, but it's fine. 2 weeks from now. I'm not going to think about that too much, or it's going to hurt my brain. I'm going to get the brain pain, coach. I'm going to get the brain pain. Anyways, I'm going to go now. We love you.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye.